Hey everybody, I am Michelle with Birdie Bloom, and today I am going to talk about one of my favorite bags and my favorite textures in Vintage Coach. I have shown you this bag before on a bag reveal, a bag opening. My love for that bag, this bag, was not really present at the time. I'll just go ahead and show you what it is. This is the Duffle Sac and Nubuc. So it's part of the Sonoma line. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that. I would like to go ahead and correct something from that bag opening video. I assumed this was bottle green. I had not yet really dived into the colors of the Nubuc line. Nubuc was a little newer to me, even though I had had some. I just really wasn't paying much attention to those bags. But since getting this one, I've totally fallen head over heels in love with just Sonoma in general. One of my favorite bags is a full grain Sonoma pebbled leather bag. Actually, I'll show you that. It's this one. I've talked about it before. Oh gosh, what is it? I don't know off the top of my head. I will. It's a 4905. It's a drawstring type bag. I'll write it here below, but one of my first and also one of my favorite bags. I'll just show you. This is the pebbled leather, the full grain pebbled leather versus the Sonoma Nubuc leather, which typically is pebbled still. However, I have come to find out that there are different, different leather hides yield different results. So we'll talk about that. I know that I was a little disappointed when I opened it. I expected this Nubuc leather to be pebbled and soft, and it's really, this one's really, really smooth. It's almost like velvet, as you can see. I mean, you know, when you wipe it a certain way, it kind of shows a different grain, different color, but I adore it. I don't know, it kind of looks maybe even dirty on camera because of that, but that's just kind of like what velvet does, and Nubuc is the same. It's not dirty. This bag is a workhorse. I use it all the time, and actually it's really easy to clean. We'll talk about that too. So, all right, what do I have here? Let's talk about the Sonoma line first. I know I've mentioned it before, but Sonoma was a line by Vintage Coach that was introduced in the fall of 1994. And they first just actually in that line introduced the Nubuc leather, which is the soft velvety leather. The full grain pebbled leather came shortly after, I think, because this was the fall of 1994. I believe in 1995, full grain was already there. And shown in the catalogs, but at first was just the soft velvety Nubuc. And here's a picture that just kind of talks about the Sonoma leather, and it's specially treated, rendering it weather and stain resistant. I don't think a lot of people know that about the Sonoma line. So for example, even though this is technically also stain and weather resistant, I mean, water will soak into this, but it doesn't necessarily immediately. I will say the full grain pebbled leather is much better at repelling water right off the bat. If it is a rainy day, this is the bag that I grab. Not that I worry too much about rain on my Vintage Coach bags. I don't spray them with anything. I don't treat them with anything. I do believe if your bag is cleaned and it's well conditioned, even though initially it might look, disastrous when you start getting rain on it, it will dry evenly, it will dry nicely, but your bag has to be clean. If your bag is dirty, has dirt on it, dust, whatever, if rain gets on it, it's gonna mix with that, and that's what creates water stains. Same thing as if you set your bag in dirty water, or if you get splashed with dirty water, that's where water stains come from. Water stains don't come from clean water, clean bags, okay? So there's that. But this is the bag I grabbed because even though I'm not worried about my bags drying, and looking nicely, I don't necessarily want to walk around with a splattered, watered bag, in the rain. So this is what I grabbed: water and stain resistant. And I think people get intimidated by these because they look like maybe they are difficult to clean. But I will tell you, I have put this bag in dirty water, set it in dirty water. I have gotten sticky stuff all over this bag. And all I do, I like water wipes, baby water wipes, and I always have those on me because if you don't already know, I have 2 little boys, and I just wipe it, like clean it off pretty quickly, you know, when that happens. I've spilt water in here, and you know, when I get like Cheez-Its and stuff, I consider that, I worry about that being dirty water. I'll just make sure I clean it with just water, and this bag has continued to do me good, no issues. I do have to clean it regularly because again, it's a workhorse for me. So this is, sorry, I feel like this video is gonna be long because I am obsessed with this bag. I know I've only done 1 video on it, but if you're in my Vintage Coach Eye Candy group on Facebook, you will have seen me post this bag many times with me wearing it because it is a major go-to for me. It just can hold so much. And I never thought I'd be a duffel sack person. Duffel sack, the style number for that is the 9085. I would call that one of the most iconic bags in my opinion for Vintage Coach. It was definitely the longest running bag, and it is a bag that Coach continues to bring out in, you know, newer styles, but with the duffel sack in mind. But the true duffel sack 9085 ran for a very, very long time. They are pricey bags, not that you can't find them affordable, and they're big, and I don't think they're for everybody. And what's really weird about them is they have kind of a short strap for as big of the bag is, and we're gonna go over that. But all of that aside, I never thought I would like the duffel sack, but after getting this, searching for a dinosaur bag, I'm like, oh, that's a cute dinosaur bag. I don't know. I'm so excited, happy with this purchase. Love it. I love a duffel sack now, all duffel sacks. But okay, so this is, I said 9085 for a duffel sack, a regular duffel sack, that full grain, smooth leather. When Coach took a bag and replicated it in a different type of leather, it got its own style name. So the Sonoma line in general has lots of different bags that are specific to the Sonoma. You're not gonna find them in other types of leathers, but they also have bags that are replications of their full grain line, and therefore they get a different style number. So this is a replication of the 9085 duffel sack in just Nubuc, and its style number is 4950, okay? And then here's a catalog photo. He'll show you all of them. You also have the Helen's Legacy bag that was replicated in Nubuc in the Sonoma line, and its style number is 4952. And then you also have the Maggie Duffle. So you've got 3 size duffels here. The Maggie Duffle replicated style number 4954 in Nubuc. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, sadly, they did not make these in the Sonoma full grain pebbled leather, that soft pebbly leather that I showed you here. They didn't make them in this type of pebbled Sonoma leather. There's only 2 types of Sonoma leathers, this pebbled and this Nubuc, right? They didn't make it. That would have been a lovely bag. I know I would have loved that bag, but they do have very large bags. I have shown them on my channel. I think one of them was like a 4916 soft bucket in natural grain. There's other large duffel sack like bags, but they are not duffel sacks, okay? So they do have large Sonoma pebbled full grain bags, but not in the duffel sack. So duffel sack. Let's go back to this catalog photo. The strap for the duffel sack, the large one, is a 36-inch strap, okay? That's not very big, that's not very long. And then the Helen's Legacy has the longest strap. This is the same case with the, you know, the normal full grain leather duffel sack, Helen's Legacy and Maggie Duffle. The Helen's Legacy has a 50-inch strap. That is the longest strap for these duffels. And then the Maggie Duffle has a 48-inch strap, which is longer than the duffel sack 36-inch strap, okay? Interesting, right? So there's that. I think that is one of the complaints, though you can change straps out. The strap is thicker for the duffel sack, so you can't necessarily take a Maggie Duffle, which has a thinner strap, and just put it on a regular duffel size duffel sack bag. But I I've still grown to love it, and I still will wear this bag crossbody if necessary. In fact, I have been having to crossbody it. I don't like the look of crossbodying it or even really the feel, but sometimes when I'm running around with a really heavily stuffed bag, I will crossbody it. So this is how I normally wear the bag. I might actually, I do usually go up a little bit further, but this is, I love this bag so much. I love the way it feels. I love a duffel sack. Again, full grain duffel sacks as well, but this is the one that found its way into my home, and so this is the one that I use. And then I'll just show you crossbody. And so yeah, this isn't necessary. It's workable, it's doable. I'll have this thing really stuffed, and I wear it this way out of necessity, not out of like, oh, I like how it looks. But yeah, so it works. This is, again, my workhorse. Stuff this bag like crazy, but I prefer it to be a little less stuff. People complain about, they think, oh, this is just a huge cavity. How do you find things? Well, I typically put bags inside bags. And so things are categorized inside my bag. So I actually don't ever look inside here. I put like my keys and maybe my key wallet, and a wallet, and there's a zipper, in here. There's a zipper, which I tend to leave just open, but I'll have that, things that might get lost easier, right? And then I, carry like snacks in a different bag. I might carry my own personal items in a different bag. And so when I'm going into this bag, I am just literally feeling for that particular bag and then pulling it out. In this case, this is not a vintage Coach, but I do use this a lot because it's waterproof. And I go to the, this just kind of like, I go to water areas a lot. And no, I don't bring my vintage Coach leather. And because of that, I always have things for the boys in this thing. And so it's just easier for me to take it from that water bag and put it in here and move along, right? But I do use other bags. I just don't have them in here right now. Oh, such as, I do have this one from another bag that I was using. For example, this is another Sonoma little case. I've talked about these before, but okay. So there's that. I just feel for what I need. I'm not ever looking into this bag. I know there's bag lights and stuff, but it's just not necessary for me. Okay, so, oh, sorry, so long, guys. Love it. So I have this, right? Well, I have two other bags to show you. Sadly, I cannot find a Helen's Legacy Nubuc Duffel. And believe it or not, I don't even have a Helen's Legacy regular duffel. It's not, those are very, like, you can find those plenty. I just haven't grabbed one yet, and I definitely need to, because I definitely want to do a size comparison. I've had plenty of Maggies, I've had plenty of duffel sacks, but yeah, what these are the Maggie Duffle, the 4954 Nubuc. I found both of these, and neither one of them was I sure about when I bought them. Sometimes when people post, and they're just not really like familiar with how important it is, these can be hard to picture, the creed, and so I can't necessarily see what number it is. I was really hoping I was getting a Maggie Duffle with one of these, but I didn't. Actually, I was hoping this one was like my bag, but it's not. Okay, so these are actually have a little bit different, this particular one. Oh, did I tell you? I might not have mentioned it. I thought this was bottle green. I think I started talking about it and got sidetracked. I'm sorry, guys. This is actually spruce. It's a spruce green. So this is spruce and this is chocolate. They have different, it looks kind of like a mahogany, but it's a chocolate color. That's what it's called. This is spruce green. Isn't that cool? I think so. Okay, so what was I saying? Yeah, anyways. Oh, pebbled leather. So this has that Nubuc pebbled leather. And you know what, closer up, doesn't it kind of look like my full grain pebbled leather? Yeah, but this is actually Nubuc. It's soft and velvety and it's very pebbly. And that's what I expected when I got this one, but this one ended up being smoother and looking more like that velvet that, brushes all sorts of different ways. So yeah, this is a pebbled Nubuc. And then this chocolate one ended up being a little smoother like my bag. A smoother Nubuc, even though, I mean, if you look really close, you can see some pebbling, but overall, I would say that this is definitely a smoother, oh, the bottom is definitely more pebbled, so is it on my bag, but this is definitely like a smoother Nubuc. Yeah, and that's something that if you want one of these bags, you have to kind of accept how it just brushes different ways. You can brush it all you want, but as soon as you start touching it, you're gonna change the way the grain's going, right? See that? Just like velvet. But I love velvet too. Okay. So I told you that these straps were a little longer, and you just picture the Helen's Legacy, I guess, being in between these two sizes. That's all I can tell you. The Helen's Legacy is a medium size. This is a small, which is still pretty sizable, and this is the large duffel sack. We're gonna put these on. Both of these are gonna be for sale. Okay, they're ready to go. They're clean and ready to go. Oh, I also, something about the hardware, I know I've mentioned I'm typically a pretty big hardware cleaner. I didn't do it on my bag either. I like these a little bit more with wear to them. I just think they complement that Nubuc better. That is my preference. So I don't go shining them up like crazy, even though I clean them. They're not like super shiny. That is just my preference. I think it looks better like that. Just like the Berkeley line. The Berkeley line technically comes with the antique brass. That's the word they use. The brass is antique, specifically made to look more vintage or antique. These do not come with antique brass. But again, I like them a little bit more patina, the brass. So I have this one on its shortest length. Oh, I probably don't have the best colors for this, and actually not even the best outfit. This is just what I'm wearing today. I got places to go. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. But so this is how this bag looks with a shorter strap. So if you weren't gonna crossbody it, and I've got the Spruce on a longer length, so you can see it crossbodied. This bag has a little bit of filling in it, nothing crazy. It can definitely be stuffed more. Oh, you know, the Sonoma has that lining, that striped lining. Let me pull it out for you. Do you see that? That's a striped lining. That's all very normal. I love it because you just pull it right out, empty your crumbs, whatever. It's easier to clean. Love it. I know some people think that vintage coach is only vintage coach if it has that raw leather lining, which really isn't lining. It's just the back side of your bag. There's no lining in a lot of vintage coach bags, but don't discount the lined bags, guys. Okay, and then this one, again, in spruce green, like my large duffel sack. This is on its longest length, and this is how long it is. It can be pretty long, so great if you're a tall person and you like it to be worn lower. But this is crossbody for the little Maggie Duffle. Great size bag still. And if I wasn't toting around so much stuff right now with young boys, I probably actually really like this size. It is closer to one of my favorite bags, which I still will stuff. Let's see. Yes, I wear this bag all the time too. So it's definitely closer in size. I would say definitely also probably holds about the same amount. So yeah. There you go. Again, Maggie Duffle in Nubuc is style number 4954. What is not pictured in this video is a Helen's Legacy in Nubuc style number 4952. Guys, I have searched and searched for one of those. And overall, these Nubuc bags are hard to find. They didn't make them for very long. Oh, and I didn't even tell you, they were new in the fall of 1997. That's when these bags came out. So they will always have a style number. Whether you can read it or not in the post is a whole nother story, but they will always have the style number. I adore these bags. I adore the feel of them. I just like the Sonoma in general. It's not for everybody. I know people who don't like the Sonoma line, so they don't like the way it feels. To each their own, you know, might not be for you, but know that these bags are weather resistant. And they're just a really great choice to have at least one of them in your collection. And there's so many different styles of Nubuc and the Sonoma pebbled grain. It's not just these duffel sacks. So many different types of bags. So keep your eyes out if you're interested, and maybe you'll find one that fits your style and your preference, okay? Well, thanks for watching. Hit like if you like this video, subscribe to my channel for more Vintage Coach bag talks, and join my Vintage Coach Eye Candy group on Facebook if you just want to catch cool pictures of bags, right? Because that's what the point of that group is. So, all right, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.